in the Nexus.
B-Step being down 2 series in this best of 5, or 2 games in this best of 5, are able to bring it back in the last 2 games all the way to Game 5. They have all the momentum behind them, and they have chosen Battlefield of Eternity to be the battleground for the last game in the series.
It's almost as if Superstars, when seeing this, when falling behind, if they have what it takes to be able to turn it around, it's only fitting that they open with 2 games, lost the next 2, and now, in fact, have to be able to do that not only within a game, but within the series itself, showing their overall improvement as a group. The final, trial, really, that B-Step is going to be putting them up against on this Battlefield of Eternity game.
Yeah, now I'm wondering about drafting, how that's going to work out for Superstars.
I think that's a Superstar win, going to BOE. Just because, okay, so, I look at the map as something that would be a B-Step map, but I think Superstars wins just because B-Step has been focused on that, such a unique playstyle on this map. It's not been, that kill focus, but it could be now. But they have had this weird triple backline that they've ran at times. They haven't committed to a little bit more traditional play on BOE, I guess is what I'm alluding to.
Yeah, they've been adapting as their BOEs have gone on. The last one versus Freedom was when they had Volivarian, Leeming, Thrall, and Uther. They busted out the APM Uther, which didn't go over. They did not win that game versus Freedom, but still, it does seem to be like they're morphing, and that might make it hard for Superstars to even know how to draft against them. Do they worry about a triple range, or is it going to be more of this lockdown style that B-Step has been playing so much?
Yeah, and it's also when looking at the Medivh, it's going to gain less value on this map, so are we going to see them push, Nightmare in that direction into the Medivh, or are they going to let it through, look towards a different strategy overall? I think personally I would enjoy seeing that from them. It did look all right in the early games, but again, now it's gotten to the point where it just seems like they think it's a must, and don't get me wrong, Medivh's awesome. I think he's a phenomenal hero. I don't think he's in every single composition that we've seen them run, at least so far, so I'd like to tone it back a little bit, a little bit more, finding the roots, I guess, for Superstars in this next draft.
Especially since it is Battlefield of Eternity, and so far in all of these games of this series, Superstars have fallen behind in the early game, and you just can't as easily on Battlefield of Eternity because of how strong the objective is on this map, and the fact that if you get behind, then you're trying to make risky decisions while being down talent tiers or losing out on the first phase and then catching up in a talent tier and attacking then, which is also not a great option because you have all this pressure on you.
Yeah, none of those scenarios are really going to be a pretty one there for Superstars. They need to be comfortable with the early half. The draft, I think, is going to change quite a bit in this game, and I think it's going to mean a lot for the success of it. So I don't know. It's a tense one. It's a tense moment for both these teams, I think, to be able to figure out what is the best choice overall when it comes to the drafting adjustments.
Yes, specifically because this series is so important to both of these teams. B-Step are slightly behind Superstars in the standings, but as we have talked about, there are so many teams here in HGC North America that have to win every series from here on out if they stand a chance of taking the spot, one of the spots for North America at the Western Clash.
So Ragnaros spanned out. That automatically means, okay, so is B-Step going to ban Tassadar? Okay, looks like they're going to. Superstars snap pick Artanis, or do they mix it up? Last time we saw them on this map, they opened with Artanis. That being said, they felt more comfortable with Artanis not only on this map, but on any map. They were willing to be able to, during that small moment where we saw Artanis just everywhere in HGC North America.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they would want to put more emphasis on putting whatever Goku is going to be the most confident in and comfortable with, considering the fact that Goku has been such a emphasis and frankly like a breath of fresh air for the members of Superstars. He has really been showing a lot of skill in HGC so far for Superstars, so maybe it is a strategy for them to make sure that he gets the hero that he wants here on Battlefield.
I would let it go through. I don't think first picking it would be the choice for Superstars, and it looks like they agree. They look towards the Malfurion. 3 times we've seen B-Step play this map from the second pick slot, actually 4, and every single time they've opened with Malfurion Li Ming, except for the last they moved into a Volivarian.
This is one of Malfurion's best battlegrounds too. He has a win rate that has been falling down to around the 50% mark, but it started out very high, but on Battlefield of Eternity, 78% after last weekend, because he he can combo off of the map objective, if nothing else. We saw Akaface.
Even beyond that, it's the map complements his healing style the most out of all of them. Not only does he give health over time, but he gives mana over time as well. So typically the team with the Malfurion is going to be able to win the sustain war. Morales really only one to be able to match him in that kind of avenue. But Tychus and Li Ming ignoring the Vala, ignoring everything in the race except for the Li Ming. Tychus is decent. Li Ming, very good. Again, poke-oriented. So that leaves the Vala option available now for Superstars into their draft. I expect they move in that direction. The question is, where else are they going to go with their picks? Into ETC? I would like to see them maybe not go into the ETC. Oh, man, it's tough. I think the Vala is a must for Superstars.
What about Varian instead of ETC?
They could. I think that's okay. It comes down to like this, the passive with ETC when it comes to the race. Is that something that they feel like they need? I think I like the Varian a little bit more. It's easier to be able to confirm the stun as well. They go with the ETC instead though.
ETC Vala to help complement the race. Vala, that is, and ETC with attack speed. B-Step now with a ban, could ban even more damage at this point, knowing that that really is the best place. Maybe a Goku hero.
B-Step's ban is hard to figure out.
Yeah. Because
B-Step hasn't leaned anywhere, and B-Step really needs to figure out where they're going to move with their draft. I think it's a tough ban slot for B-Step here. More than anything, it's like a generic kind of throwaway, but they need to be able to figure out what they want in their next two picks before they can move anywhere onto this ban. And Superstars, I expect to put a little bit of threat. They're hovering the Artanis.
I was thinking either Artanis or Tracer, maybe. But Tassadar was already banned, but some teams have still played Tracer even without Tassadar on this map.
I think Artanis is going to be the safe ban. Superstars, but the only reason that's weird is because it removes another avenue for B-Step, because now that they expected a Varian ban, or at least some kind of warrior ban with the ETC lock-in. And so now with Artanis removed, because with Varians banned out, now, maybe Artanis strat in winning the race was an appealing option. That's why it seemed weird for B-Step and their bans, and it's unlikely they move into a Tyrael style play on this map. And those are some of the more frequent strategies on BOE. So they B-Step in this next slot.
Well, there's still Sonya.
That's true. The Sonya, she hasn't come out in a while on BOE, but yeah, Sonya is pretty good on this map. Ooh, is that it?
That's where I was thinking they might be heading.
Thrall is okay. Probably a little bit better now since we see the Sundering changes coming to play on this patch, or the nerfs as well to Earthquake. I think it's going to be a Thrall and then Diablo. Murden. Okay, Murden Karazim leaving the last pick up to probably again be the Thrall. The Murden I think I like a lot more. Murden is, I personally think, a little bit low in value in the North American scene overall. Especially on maps like this where you're just worried about hitting Storm Bolts and surviving, getting up in their face. And it's one of Cap's best heroes.
It is. Murden, Leoric. Superstars, though. 2 final picks. Something for Hosty or Nightmare and whatever Goku's going to be playing. They could take Sonya or Thrall here as well.
I really like the Falset pick here for Superstars. I think it gives them a lot of, just ability to be able to buy a little bit of time. It helps with the race. It helps with side soaking as well. It's very forgiving overall into the composition that opponents have drafted so far. And if it's Hosty, he's very good on the hero. Toronto.
Oh, my.
Oh, my is right. We're going back.
Wow.
That is okay, so Alarak ETC duo. Alarak's best map being Battlefield of Eternity, and then they weren't done with it. They were just like, we're going to go to Toronto too.
They forced the hand of B-Step.
Yeah.
Now B-Step have to look at defending where they would like to just do their same old thing of poke, poke, poke.
Yeah, they very much would, or feel comfortable waiting for the Murd and Tyrande combo Superstars. Now, it very much forces B-Step in this draft. That was the most bullying I've ever seen Superstars do in a draft in my life.
Yes, bold. It's a bold move, Superstars.
I can't see anything other than the Thrall, unless it's like a... I'm not even going to say the word. I always say Hearthis. They go...
What just happened?
The counter answer. Medivh? Okay.
Superstars takes Tyrande. B-Step takes Medivh. That was a crazy turn of events.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone. Because that's what we feel like we're in at this point.
Observe,
this is so backwards.
As one team takes the other team's heroes.
Yeah, it's just... Okay, so let's break it down. So the Medivh is a nice answer to Tyrande comps. We've suggested in the past whenever we see the Tyrande compositions. But this map, Medivh doesn't do necessarily that well, and it's Tyrande's best map by far, purely being able to put her mark onto the Immortal itself.
Yeah.
So I like the answer. I just can't help but feel like it's a little bit too late by having the Medivh onto this map. There has to be, and not having the variant, I think is going to be a huge cripple. I don't think Murden's nearly as impactful in that department.
Dude, the Tyrande Vala with Malfurion, ETC, Alarak behind, B-Step comes in to defend. You've got an Alarak power slide with Roots follow-up with stuns from the Immortal. That is a beautiful draft.
Yeah, we also have to talk a little bit about, now looking at the other side, when we're talking about going way back. So ETC Alarak, when Alarak first released, was the original combo you look for. You just telekinesis into the power slide, somebody's going to die. But then it's both of them debatably one of their better maps because the map objective itself spawns the little circles. Both of them have the ability to displace their opponents into them, forcing you to be able to get a free stun, which then, again, usually leads to a kill. So their defense is out of this world. Then they have Tyrande for the offense, and they've got Vala on top of it, and Medivh on the opposite side. I think I'm comfortable saying Superstars definitely pulled ahead with that last transition, the bullying in that draft. It's a little bit weird because the K1 Pro on Medivh is pretty impactful.
It's so good.
But I would say overall, if I didn't know the team names, I think Superstars had a huge turn of events in this draft.
Well, I cannot wait for this game number 5 between these two teams after that draft. We're headed into the battlefield of eternity to see who takes this series. That draft.
That draft. Exactly. My goodness. The question is, does Superstars have the practice and experience on it to be able to get away with it? Especially with having, Nightmare there as the fill. Nightmare, in fact, is going to be on the Vala, so playing a hero that I know he's very comfortable on. Hosie's going to be the Tyrande player here. Alarak by Goku. Let's look at 1v1s. Imagine that. B-Step didn't draft one. Superstars, in fact, did. It's just B-Step has always neglected it. They just, what's a solo? That's all they do when it comes to the draft. So Alarak should pull ahead in terms of any solo matchup. There's nobody other than maybe Tychus.
I think Tychus is who they have to put up there.
Who can deal with him.
Yeah, Alarak is another good 1v1 hero that we just don't see very often. He has become so niche. This is only the second Alarak pick in all of NA HGC, potentially all of HGC in general. And it comes down to how Goku plays versus him. It's going to be K1 Pro, actually, in the top lane, trying to duke it out. Trying to just stay alive, do what he can, keep up the soak for B-Step, not die. He's a good one at that.
Yeah, he's actually debatably, actually not debatably, he is literally always the best hero at soaking a lane without dying in the entire game. But, it can cost them a little bit if Goku decides to just push the lane. It could, drain enough ammo or a heavy transition out of Superstars could allow them to be able to maybe get a little siege here over B-Step. But for now, it looks like teams are comfortable residing in their original lanes.
Let's talk talents. Hungering Arrow build for Vala, Astral Presence for Li Ming too, making sure that she can keep up the passive mana regeneration. For Alarak, it's almost always applied force. I don't know if I've ever even seen anything at level 1. It does reduce your sadism by 10%, but telekinesis is going to push 20% further. So both lending to your self-escape a lot more, but also being able to pull people in a little bit more to to those Immortal stuns.
All right, so here it is. The race is going to begin here as the Hunter's Mark goes out onto the Immortals. Both teams seem to be racing, but without Malfurion or Vala, it looks like B-Step gets a little bit more damage out here than Superstars expected when looking at the drafts originally. If B-Step goes full 5-on-5 in this race right here, they will lose this back half. Very confidently.
There goes the stun. Coming out. King Caffeine's going to stand. Pushing away, and this is a Hunter's Mark down with all 5 members. Lunar Flare even will go out. Superstars almost. They do take it, but at the very least, B-Step have greatly eliminated the shielding from this Immortal to push.
Yeah, it's a very common strat we see from B-Step. They're very, not comfortable with risking the early Immortal phasing of this map. They want to try and take that race and just, get rid of the shielding and let their opponents have this. Wait till the later parts of the game where they can get 10, get their team fighting where they feel most comfortable. Alarak still soaking in top, same with Medivh as well to be able to match him. When looking at the talents, everything else seems to be what we would expect. If you guys do not know Alarak very well, moving into the double cross there at level 4 is pretty much the meta build for him. Thunderburn is picked up there for Muradin. That'll help him a little bit maybe with survivability depending on the build on the back half of this game.
Maybe the most interesting to me is Shando's Clarity at 1 for Iacona, giving more mana, but again, it is Battlefield of Eternity where you do get into those long, drawn-out fights, so being able to give more mana to his teammates, he does sacrifice Moonburn for extra damage, but again, they have Tyrande, not needed there, and Scouting Drone would be the other one that we see probably most often from Malfurions now.
The positioning of Iacona here has actually done a lot to be able to give away Strays in that shrub if B-Step did not know. So there's, I doubt, any risky transition. We do see Goku applying pressure into top. You see him looking to be able to, try to win the lane, but in fact, he can't really kill K1 Pro, but he can't wave clear that well either. So it allows him to just kind of poke and in the long run be able to cripple things. So it's not that detrimental to Superstars at least, or excuse me, B-Step, at least not yet. As the game moves on, I think he loses a little bit more. So really, it's just this is the most amount of pressure I expect Goku to be able to apply. But it's always nice to, be able to rely on your solo laner to not lose the lane.
Superstars did not go into Ranger's Mark at 1, instead going for the Owl build. What do you think of not having that?
I would like to have it. I think it's, a safer route when it comes to racing and just overall the level 1 talent. It might help. It helps. If owls are huge the entire game, it obviously will outwin, or at least outvalue the other options at level 1. But if not, then it's not as safe, I guess, really. So if Hoshi plays out of his mind there with the owls, could be it.
Better rotation once again for B-Step on the Immortals. And that is something that earlier on for B-Step we had remarked, is that their rotations to the Immortals were very slow. But this time it's Superstars who are not getting there as fast. They wanted to try to maybe clear out bruisers in bottom. They got their own bruisers, but now they're faced with a situation where they did not get the clear. Now they have to defend.
This is what they want, though. Their comp is, how do you move into this? If one stun shows up between Alarak, Tyrande, or ETC, if one of them do not prime the stun, I would be amazed. Now they have Vala with the double Q opportunity as well to get the poke. So you just poke, poke, poke. Make sure you don't risk anything. And then if your opponents want to even get close to questioning you on your own Immortal, that is when Superstars look to turn.
The nice thing for B-Step is they do have K1 Pro to give a vision of where Goku is and where the pulls would come in from telekinesis. And Stray's positioning as well to follow up.
All of B-Step here, minus, okay, there's going to be, the stun I was going to say was very passive in positioning, minus K1 Pro. Again, Superstars move up. Vala's got 1 Q there with Nightmare, risking the stun. Good cleanse coming out from Iacona onto Hosty. And again, the poke match is going to be real. K1 Pro lays down the combo comes out. It doesn't land, but enough to scare him away. And now it looks like a defensive moment here for Superstars. They're risking to take this trade. Superstars will be able to win this, I think.
That was a great Lunar Flare to slow down. But B-Step still win this next Immortal phase.
They just don't have the DPS without having everybody there committed to it. Vala, solo Vala Q build is not enough with the Tyrande there. And the damage output to be able to win this race, at least not yet. We do see a little bit of a change with the increased range of Lunar Flare at 7. There's been a couple of Tyrande builds, I guess, we've seen so far in North America.
Right. Yeah, trying to more safely. We saw that come into play too when she was able to stun at the portal. He just didn't quite get the kill in time, knock him away, anything like that. There's not increased knockback either. Instead, Crowd Surfer for ETC, so playing more safe versus trying to have that increased knockback for portals.
You're going to see that Q end up landing there for Goku. At 7, though, we did see Goku move into Chaos Reign, so he's going to be stacking his Q as much as possible. We'll be keeping track of that.
It's a hard talent.
Yeah, because when it is finished, though, he hits like a truck. His kill potential on the backline, Li Ming, he actually can win that trade very hard, whereas without it, maybe not so convincing. I am surprised Superstars was willing to risk that back half after the halftime phase of that last Immortal, was willing to risk the race, again, because their comp is so good on the defensive. Personally, Alarak, he came out, and then we saw a couple of games of him here and there, and then suddenly he just kind of fell off. But we do once in a while see him on BOE, much like we see Tyrande once in a while on BOE. And it's solely because of his value on the defensive, is really why he's such a terrifying hero. So I would have liked to see more focus of that for Superstars when it comes to their draft. But, you know, it might change once they hit 10.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a hard decision for them, too, because they also have Vala with Hungering Arrow build, Monster Hunter, and then Tyrande, too. So they have capable tools to burn down Immortal very fast. So it's going to come down to how they want to split, as it always does on Battlefield of Eternity. But heroic abilities are here for the team. Starfall is Tyrande's choice. And still waiting on Vala, but we have Counter-Strike for Alarak.
Yeah, Alarak with Counter-Strike. 7-sided there, as usual here for APM. Everything else, Li Ming trying to question if she wants to go Disintegrate or Wave of Force, excuse me, depending on what ETC goes, but ETC almost 100% will go Mosh.
Yeah, especially Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, it's just Sage.
Oh, or not.
And, you know, whenever you expect Stray to go stage dive, he goes Mosh, and whenever you think he's going to go Mosh, he goes stage dive. So
he's keeping it interesting for you, Dread.
He is. It'll help with the side soak in the lane, so it'll be interesting to see where this works, but it does cripple his team fighting potential. Odin's been used. Grenades, everything, spells thrown at one another. We do see a little bit of damage has managed to happen, about 4,000 here by B-Step onto the Immortal. Here's the defensive play, throws into the stun. The combo, good Medivh shield though, is going to make all that damage go away. Twilight Dreams used Counter-Strike as well, and that was going to be a pick there. Stage dive coming in. Halftime show not going to be kicked off yet here, but Superstars with the man up. I expect them to make that transition and put it into halftime as soon as possible.
Just as Avatar went up, Murden went down, and without Murden for a few seconds, Superstars are using this time, moving in Iacona, Nightmare, and Hosty, so they can have extra mana. They have the damage and, of course, Hunter's Mark, while the two defenders, Stray and Goku, keep B-Step from putting on any more free damage. Halfway here for Superstars, halfway to a next Immortal, and yeah, just like you said, it's an offensive spawn. Leyline Seal only stopped one.
Yeah, Leyline Seal drop was a, you know, I can respect the attempt there on the side of K1 Pro. He couldn't risk anything by revealing, so he's willing to try and throw it out blind to be able to hit as many members as possible. But in fact, that is now going to be spent a cooldown. You know, that's not the end of it, though. Shaman Camp here is going to get pressure, split pressure on top, while the Immortal now onto the bottom half of the map here. Stage dive up in 13 seconds. So this is going to be escorted in there by, you know, Stray once again with the stage dive. Huge moment here for Superstars. We'll see what they're going to be able to get out here.
Portal down to help the defense of B-Step. They don't have level 13 yet, so it's going to be a little while until they have this. B-Step continuing to back off. They don't have Leyline Seal as a means of defense, a means of engaging for the team. So they're going to wait and maybe try to engage once they get the Immortal lower, or if someone steps out just a little bit too far.
Goku here looking at the Chaos Reigns at 7 is still sitting at about 50%. Master's Touch on K1 Pro, in fact, is sitting also near that 50% mark. Immortal moving up to the keep. Top 4 is going to be falling here to ETC. Echo Petal and Shaman Camp is going to be able to aid him a little bit more, but so far, Superstars after that next Immortal phase in that beautiful defensive play that I was, you know, alluding to when talking about the strength of defending. We saw at that last Immortal, and if we see Superstars keep that up, I really do think they've got a solid shot in this game. It's when they risk the trades when things might get a little bit, you know, hairier.
It's another beautiful play, too, from Superstars. Their rotations, getting the Shaman, knowing that they have ETC who can stage dive in if needed to push down the fort so that no matter what, the next Immortal they get can threaten a keep. 13 here, lots of defensive talents. Gloom for Vala. That's not one we see a lot on Alarak, but we just don't see a lot of Alarak in general. But Dissonance is going to be the level 13. Again, reduces sadism. That's the drawback for a lot of Alarak's talents, is really good ones. But it does make the silence of Discord Strike last just a little bit longer.
That's putting a lot of emphasis on kill potential and to the combo of Alarak. That when somebody gets comboed, they want them dead is really kind of what that talent adjustment tells me.
Yeah, I mean, at that level, you've got Pure Malice.
Yeah.
If your teammates are dying a lot, notorious for not dying are superstars, though. So that's not necessarily something you want to rely on. And then Psychokinesis is another one that I like. It increases the damage of telekinesis by 100% and doesn't make you lose some of your sadism, but in this case, having the longer silence may be the difference of King Caffeine not being able to Avatar or Dwarf Toss out, or not letting Force of Will come in, or even teleport from iDream.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with that extended silence there. Because mainly just because they have to prove the CC has to be worth that 10% damage loss. They're on to the heroes here. The offensive spawn for both sides, which means it should be Superstars pulling ahead. ETC is not there to be able to join out the gates, but again, their racing is just ridiculous, especially when that ETC passive comes in. There it goes. Halftime kicked in. Superstars pulls ahead. A level and a half lead. So if they buy time, it's going to be a huge moment for Superstars. B-Step has to answer to them. It's going to be happening on top. No Shaman Camp for either side. Pressure onto bottom. That's been applied here by Superstars. There's a lot of experience B-Step is going to be given up.
B-Step's in position to defend, though, starting to throw out some Li Ming damage here and there, but Goku found Li Ming, and in comes Karazim for the save, and loses his life in the process. That was Leyline Seal used it too. It does put Icona in a little bit of a scary position, but nobody quite in position to capitalize on that. Again, McIntyre is the next victim to be pulled in, and stage dive even. There's a portal. McIntyre's now on the other side of the Immortal, but that is enough to mess with the members of B-Step, but Superstars feel comfortable enough to move in and take out the Immortal. Yeah, and they're going to move in, and by capturing this here, this is another moment where Superstars is really going to be able to take off. Mainly because they're sitting at 15, there's going to be the root. Silence is going to land, so that Avatar burn Counter-Strike is going to be used. Lunar Flare up once more. But the 16 spike with the Immortal, it's going to happen a little bit after the front wall. So the front wall, actually this mini wave might be enough. Let me see. Ooh, I think it's still just barely out of range. No, I think I got it after this next wave and this. So once this front wall drops, 16 talents here. Superstars, if they just all in, they might be able to win the game. Yeah, that's definitely going to be 16 spikes. So let's see if they manage to make it happen. The Immortal shield sitting high. See who Goku can find. Remember, there's no Avatar still for 50 seconds for King Caffeine, so it's scary for him to get pulled out into the members of Superstars. With the lockdown that Superstars have, anybody is a target for a quick kill. 4 seconds before Heroics come up. Immortal is in on top of the fort. It's a little bit easier of a defense. iDream throwing out his Disintegrate even. The target was K1 Pro, who stays alive, has Leyline Seal. If he wants to try to stop everyone from Superstars escaping, a keep goes down. All right, so Superstars playing a bit more of the safe route. They got the keep here, which means, and the 2-level lead. They have to keep up the pressure onto the map. They can't risk this delay, soak, buy time approach that their composition is good at. Because again, we talked about how successful Superstars is when they are on the defensive with their composition. But being defensive means your opponents gets experience and trickle-down experience to be able to catch up. So now that we see them taking the patient game, they need to make sure they, it's patience with calculation. And that's going to start here with the Shaman Camp up on top. And I would like to see them just move bottom, force something without the 16. Even there's the invade, very well done. That's going to be one step. And then now using the Shaman Camp on bottom with the split pressure up on top. Things are looking good for Superstars, just keeping up this pressure because B-Step just has nothing. Even that Leyline Seal, there's no way they're going to be able to turn this. Nah, Stray's just going to walk out of that. All the bruisers taken now. There is a couple of Khazra camps if Superstars want those too, or they could just put pressure onto the keep here in the bottom lane. Already one is down. They know that as long as the focus is here in the bottom lane, then ETC is pushing up top, but that might be a problem for Superstars. As ETC, there's a wraparound in some of the heroes, but Stray will just power slide through the extra gate and walk right down to his team.
And Odin is now going to be used. Muradin looking for the flanking caffeine. Goku's falling pretty low on health, but again, no 16 talents here. I would turn this if I'm Superstars because, again, they should feel very, very comfortable. And the minute that Odin drops, they are going to be in a rough spot.
Yeah,
The Cap's going to try and force.
The Roots, K1 Pro moves in 2. Has not used Leyline Seal. Yeah, he's already used Leyline Seal. It is down. Stray is just trying to run away. At this point, Rain of Vengeance even.
That was every heroic on the side of B7. And now their cores are being threatened. They have 7 seconds for the map objective to spawn. And Superstars is going to get a free halftime. No, they aren't going to. But in fact, they're going to lose a little bit of core health then. Tychus manages the transition back. Oh my goodness, B-Step, you have never lucked out so hard in your life.
Right, this positioning.
This spawning. As I say that though.
Silence, Rain of Vengeance, push in, Muradin deleted from B-Step. Superstars starting off this next Immortal phase strong, gonna get all the way to the halfway point. B-Step nowhere near 16 just yet, still need a few more waves. Tychus had to come in, but no Muradin for 30 seconds, and again, no Avatar for 40.
If they get this at full HP, that is almost 100% going to be game. And there is very few tools. Leyline Seal is about the only tool left. It's creeping down, 12k health remaining now onto the Immortal. Sray and friends moving in, 10. Now, no Muradin alive for 8 seconds. Power Slide not going to land. Orb is going to get a lot of value there for the Li Ming. No Triumvirate though. Combo goes out from Goku. Counter-Strike's going to be used as well. 7-sided strike. They get Goku. Only 7 HP left. Leyline Seal is going to be dropped as well. Now, Sray is in a tough position. No Power Slide up. Yes, he gets it, but he's going to be chased down by K1 Pro. The fact of the matter is that that portal is going to cut him off. But it's all about the Immortal HP. Keep in mind, there are 3 catapults moving into core right now, and that is 100 HP.
Oh, that's a lot of people, though, that just died for that. Vol is not going to make it out of here either. Cap jumps in, Stormbolt, McIntyre follow-up, and then he's taken out. What do B-Step do right now?
They have to defend. See, they want to go core. You're like, oh, look at they're dead. Let's open up the map. But you can't. You lose the game. You still lose a keep. I'm pretty sure they still lose a keep. It's a losing trade across the board. 1 catapult on top. It's how many times they can get the spin. The spin's only procs by people in melee, so as long as they keep people in melee, there's going to be another. All right, halfway down. 3, 2, 1, proc. No, I wish I could time that. Apparently, I don't know the timing on that very well. And that's all they can do. This is it.
But they don't lose the game, Dread.
They don't lose the game. This is true. That was pretty close to best case scenario. In terms of what they could end up getting there. Catapults on top will be cleared. Experience is still going to be 20 advantage in favor of Superstars, though. So Superstars here, it's amazing. They lost almost everything, but by being able to get that Immortal at that much HP, they, in fact, have kind of just transitioned the game a little bit longer. They lost a little bit of their lead, but it should be a perfect amount to where they're 20, and B-Step is not 20 during the next phase. And with double catapults, this is where the game gets insanely hard on BOE, unless you have a global. That's the only time, and they don't on the side of B-Step.
The one thing going for B-Step is at this point, they know they won the last team fight. Yes, they won't have level 20, but they still at least have that little bit of a confidence boost, and that may be all the difference that this game comes down to now. Superstars lost the last fight, and they had everything going for them. They still have the game going for them, but it's going to come down to mindset, especially since this is game number 5 in this series.
Yeah, and you see B-Step here. They know that they need a fight pre-20, and Superstars is questioning whether or not they want to give it to them. This is such a risky choice for Superstars. Oh my goodness. It looks like they're going to try and take it, though. Odin's going to be dropped. Spray eats a lot of damage. He's going to have to sliding out. Catapults on top and bottom, pressuring over time, forcing somebody on B-Step to back in the long run. Shaman's going to be captured by B-Step. So Odin down, Avatar down. Winning trade for a small period of time. It's heads up from B-Step. They know they need to do anything and everything they possibly can to turn this game around. But once 20 is picked up, Superstars, it's their game to lose.
Those heroics won't be here for the start of this Immortal phase. Superstar is going to make sure they can get some mercenary pressure. They have the ones in the bottom. Now they're getting the Khazra on the top. Now they can move down and even get a positional start for the mid.
Okay, so this is a weird scenario where Superstars wants to trade on Immortals. And that sounds like a bad idea, and I almost always say don't trade, but this is one of the few scenarios where they bait iDream and the rest of B-Step to just start the map objective, and they just play as defensive as possible, looking for Soak on bottom. Again, buying time is the best thing you can do here. No matter what the Immortal health is, if you're Superstars, in the long run, you are going to win this game because of your pressure on core. So, like, as long as you don't accelerate the rate at which the game ends, you're fine. And plus, you're looking for 20. So patience, patience, and eventually you'll be in a position to be able to win the game. We do see them taking that risk, though. Combo coming out from Goku. Oh my goodness, that is going to be a tough spot for Iacona. Twilight Dream ends up landing, but it cost him his life.
He does cost him his life, but he does hit on a lot of people. B-Step's still alive. APM is the one who is closest to being down. B-Step get a kill exactly when they need a stage dive. It goes down. He's going to power slide right on top of APM. The shield from Medivh keeps him alive for so long, but K1 Pro himself is low. The core is fallen. It's at 90%. Goku is running away, running for his life. B-Step have to send somebody back.
They have to send somebody back. B-Step is trying to be able to get that 79% left onto the core. Tychus ends up making it back. Now, iDream out of mana. K1 Pro not very good when it comes to the race onto the Immortal. That is a tough spot to be able to be in, but with only Vala Tyrande, nobody on the side of Superstars is going to make anything happen. Halftime show is going to be able to be kicked in, and that is where Superstars, again, needs to be able to find their answer onto the map here. So halftime show, honestly, B-Step should have waited before kicking that into play, unless they were going to all in the map objective while people are back buying that time, because you know Superstars is not going to be able to put it in halftime show. They just lost a couple of seconds here, but now it's a free moment for the return damage on the side of Superstars, and it looks like they're going to make a lot happen. Calf by himself for now. They're just looking to minimize the shields. They aren't looking to win the game. Again, buying time is still in the interest of Superstars.
Oh, here comes a Portal 2, and Hosty's in a very tough spot. He has a sprint. He's going to use it. Their sprint gets Hosty out. Leyline Seal, Medivh cheats, stops both Malfurion and Vala for now.
Stage dive up. 7 seconds on Twilight Dream.
The Immortal's almost down. This is going to be a very well-shielded Immortal for B-Step.
But they've got it back. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Twilight Dream comes out.
Medivh is down!
Oh my gosh. Medivh going down. 68% onto the core. 62 seconds before he spawns. Half health onto the Immortal. Catapults are moving into the core. Superstars is not having this. They are going to look to try and end the game with no Medivh. Seven-sided strike is here. Odin's going to be here. Stage dive right into the core. Getting the flank. They're looking to force this Odin's drop. This is so tense.
Okay, Superstars want to find just another kill, any kill, especially on one of the damage dealers. They want to take out Li Ming if they can. Odin's been popped, and with big red button, that's a lot of damage, and nukes have to be avoided for Superstars. But they have double support. They're keeping everyone healed up for now. The Immortal is still on only a fort. Superstars still have all the time in the world that they need to make this happen.
They've got to move in. They've got 20 seconds left to be able to win this game. Otherwise, Leyline Seal is going to change the tide. They end up getting the pick there onto Li Ming. Superstars get one kill, but they end up losing Goku on the Olarak shields.
Hosty is taking the damage from the core.
They're taking the, oh my goodness, 53%. Iacona ends up popping the ice block there. 40 when it comes to the core. Can't spray is the Echo Pedal. The Echo Pedal Dream, 18%. 15%. Nobody's on it. No, but they don't know he's there.
Get on screen. Wait, misses.
Oh, the Medivh cheats.
Oh, okay. All right.
No way.
Seven,
he bolts.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2%.
2% on the core. They stopped him. They forgot about him and then said, nope. Oh, we remembered. Medivh cheats by the time, and B-Step in their way to victory here as they move on to the core. Gilly, what just happened?
I have no words. Are you Calaris right now? How did they just do that? I thought for sure Stray had it when it was at 2%. And then he went away from the Leyline Seal, but Medivh cheats caught him. Now B-Step's on top of the core. The Immortal's gone.
I don't think there's any way to be able to stop this here. Seven-sided strike is going to be dropped. Goku is looking to be able to get that DPS, but APM, oh, the Twilight Dream.
Doesn't matter, big red button. B-Step save their core at 2% and win this series.
That is, nothing can feel worse than that if you are Superstars in this position. That is devastating. And for B-Step to be able, if that Medivh cheats missed, that was game. That was it. That was it. Oh man. We have a replay. We're going to just look at it again.
yeah, that sounds good.
It's just take a minute, 8 seconds left to be able to win this game. Otherwise, Leyline Seal is going to change the tide. They end up getting the pick there onto Li Ming. Superstars get one kill, but they end up losing Goku on the Olarak shields.
Hosty is taking the damage from the core.
They're taking the, oh my goodness, 53%. Iacona ends up popping the ice block there. 40 when it comes to the core. Can't spray is the Echo Pedal. The Echo Pedal Dream, 18%.
Look at 15%.
Nobody's on it. No, but they don't know he's there.
Get on screen. Wait, misses.
Oh, Medivh cheats.
All right.
No way.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2%.
2% on the core.
Medivh emotion sounded demonic. Medivh
Cheese on the core. That was, oh man, that was a doozy. That game was ridiculous. And this close, they all walked away. It was like, it's just ETC. And he was that. If that took half a second later, they end up winning that game. Or if he had bolted, Medivh cheats, granted, that's really hard to be able to nitpick at stuff like that. That was just an insane game. Insane game. And B-Step somehow is able to pull it out.
Yeah. So we're going to wait for McIntyre. We're going to get to hear his thoughts about all of that. Just all of it.
Because there's a lot.
There's a lot to cover from that series. Man, this is really good for B-Step. That now puts them, I think, at a 3-3.
Yep.
Not knocking Superstars out just yet from being able to qualify. Things are very crazy here in HGC North America. I'm sure you guys saw the post, but a lot can happen when it comes down to the standings, but it keeps B-Step's dreams alive. Yeah. Absolutely.
It kind of crushes a little bit on the side of Superstars. I don't think it's like 100% out, but it's pretty close at this point. There now for them. B-Step has slowly risen at HGC North America. Last week, a little bit more convincing. I would say maybe more so than their performance in this week, but overall, a steady incline from them. And
Superstars, man, their improvement has been marked coming into this week in particular, being able to 3-0 Team Niventic, play with the sub, and do the things that we saw in this Series 2 versus B-Step. It's incredible to see both of these teams' improvement, especially, like you said, from where both of them started.
Yeah, and with how how well both of them played, it's hard to look at it and be like, well, what if Faye was there? Because like Nightmare, he played very, very well, especially for how long it's been since we've seen him at the professional level, and then being the fact that it's just playing with the sub is hard to gauge. Would that have gone a different way, or not? But in the end, more than anything, it's just being able to see this awesome play and the adjustments from both the teams. Learning, I think, is the biggest thing, because at week 1, 2, and 3 of HGC North America, it very much felt like we were just banging our head against the wall, doing the exact same mistakes over and over and over again. And it's like, when are we going to look to improve? But it seems like week number 4, that's the dream, is where we finally see those steps to really kind of grow as a region. And it's awesome to be able to see that from both teams.
It has been awesome. And we'll get to see much more of their play, but they get a break for now, guys. We're going to go to a break. When we return, Team 8 versus Team Niventic.